Summertime. It's a sacred time in the lives of school-aged children and young adults. It's a chance to have 3 months to refresh the brain and decompress from all the homework and lesson plans, the massive projects and deadlines. Bedtime gets a little later. Alarm clocks take a break. Summer's a time for fun and relaxation, spending time with friends, making memories, and just having a good time. Some will take to the beach or the pool. Some will go to the movies and watch the film, pun entirely intended. And others will take to the zoo to see all the animals in a recreation of their natural habitat, taking a small glimpse into the wild from safe on the other side of the glass. Voyeurs, in a sense, peeking in on the lives of these creatures. But death itself is also the natural after effect of life. So, what do you do when those two worlds combine together and the dead present themselves among the living? Hey kids, welcome home. Tonight we're going to take a little summer vacation together, and while our destination may not be a tropical locale or a foreign wonderland, I guarantee you we are in for a good, and as we always discover together, spooky time. So let's pack up and head to Chicago, Illinois, and more specifically, the Lincoln Park Zoo, where the dead reside just below the surface, waiting for the perfect opportunity to present themselves. The Lincoln Park Zoo is a 35-acre zoo located in the heart of Chicago on Clark Street. The zoo itself was founded in 1868, which makes it the 4th oldest zoo in all of North America, and is an accredited member of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. The Lincoln Park Zoo is also one of the few remaining zoos with a $0 admission fee, according to the zoo's own website. In a city where skyscrapers are built every day, Lincoln Park Zoo is dedicated to being the place in Chicago for all things wildlife. The website boasts a whole slew of conservation efforts and educational opportunities when visiting the zoo. There is a whole calendar of events that tout many fun activities, not just for the kids, but for the adults as well, including a summer wine fest, which, count me in. The Lincoln Park Zoo's specially designed animal exhibits are home to nearly 200 species from all over the world, including a critically endangered black rhinoceros, and a few Jamaican iguanas that were once thought to already be extinct. In addition to an amazing array of animals which are to be expected at a zoo, Lincoln Park also finds itself home to more than 2,000 individual plants representing over 1,200 species to help create an at-home environment for all the animals. However, the grounds would also seem to be the very reason for the zoo's reputation as a haunted location, due to the fact that the zoo is built on top of what used to be a cemetery. The Chicago City Cemetery operated from 1843 to 1859 and was located in what is now the southern edge of Lincoln Park. There were tens of thousands of burials in that cemetery, and it is believed that it once housed the remains of more than 35,000 bodies. Most of the quote-unquote residents of the cemetery found themselves there due to the widespread outbreak of cholera that was sweeping the area at the time. So, why did the city begin to evacuate the cemetery and move the bodies to the Rose Hill, Graceland, and Calvary cemeteries that existed just outside the city limits? A doctor at the time named John H. Rauch began writing papers about the hazards of the cemetery. Because the grounds were so near the lake and below the water table, the bacteria from the bodies was at risk of seeping into the water supply. Another reason is that the city inhabitants were tired of a cemetery so near where they lived, and they decided they wanted a pretty park along the lakefront. In 1869, the city officials passed control of the cemetery grounds, along with the northern 50 acres of unused area of the cemetery property, already used as a park, to the Lincoln Park Commissioners. With the crew of individuals tasked with removing the bodies rumored to be a mere 10 people, the work was slow, and, in fact, was never finished, which led to the horrifying fact that it is believed that 12,000 individuals are still buried under the zoo grounds to this day. As recently as 1998, a part of the park was excavated for the Chicago History Museum's parking facility, and during the excavation, the remains of 81 individuals were uncovered. Providing proof of the creepy origins of the zoo grounds is the Couch Mausoleum, which is located at the southern tip of Lincoln Park. There seems to be no record of how many souls were buried within the tomb, if the remains are still residing within the tomb, and, more importantly, why this tomb remains standing when nearly all of the other vestiges of the cemetery, at least those visible, have long since been removed. The mausoleum sits, weather-beaten, atop a grassy knoll, beneath the extended arms of 6 tall trees, ignored and forgotten by the residents who silently pass it by each day by the hundreds. The mausoleum simply says couch, nothing more, nothing less, etched in capital letters in stone over a steel-plated door at the entrance of the foreboding 50-ton Greek Revival-style tomb. The mausoleum sits alone, a stone relic of the past, keeping all of its old secrets locked right within. Ira Couch was born in 1806 in New York's Saratoga County. He found work as an apprentice to a local tailor, but Couch had aspirations for more and was dissatisfied with his lot in life in New York. In 1836, he made the decision that he would seek out a better life and, along with his older brother James, found his way to Chicago, just 1 year before Chicago would be incorporated into a city. Couch was a loud and boisterous man with a voice that was so deep and booming, it was alleged that you could hear him from 2 city blocks away. Standing at 6'4" and stockinged feet, he left an impression both physically and in regards to his personality. Upon arriving by schooner, the Couch brothers opened up a tailor shop and a haberdashery on Lake Street between Dearborn and Clark Streets. Within a year, the boys had purchased the rooming house that they had called home and turned it into Chicago's first hotel, the Tremont House. Unfortunately, Tremont House was built as a wood building, and the structure burned to the ground 2 years later. But Couch saw this as an opportunity to rebuild in brick. The Tremont House grew to 5 stories high and boasted 260 rooms. It was an elaborate and elegant fare that many thought could never survive. But survive it did, and eventually became known as the Gem of the Prairie. Couch grew in local prominence, and at the time of his death at the age of 51, it is believed that only William B. Ogden, the city's first mayor, and John Wentworth, a popular newspaper publisher who also served as mayor, were the only 2 men in Chicago believed to have been more wealthy than Ira himself. Couch was reportedly so impressed with the architecture of the Tremont House that he elicited the help of the architect John Von Osdale to design the now infamous tomb that would serve as his final resting home. At the time of construction, the mausoleum was the talk of the town, costing an astonishing $7,000, which by today's standards would be a staggering $231,000. Newspapers at the time reported that the mausoleum was big enough to hold 11 bodies in a semicircle of niches in the wall. Historians know Ira Couch was buried inside, but they don't know who else because official records were lost or destroyed by the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, and family memories have faded over the last 6 generations. Rumors and hearsay abound. 3 bodies are in the crypt, says one report. 7 bodies, says another. 13, says a third. As far as is known, Ira Couch's body was the only one placed in the crypt, a news article reported in 1951. Everyone who would know is gone. Anybody who remembered anything is dead, says Errol Couch of Omaha, the widow of Ira's great-great-grandson, Ira Lanning Couch Jr. The answer to the question of who and how many are buried there is this: I don't know. There are no Couches left in Chicago, and there are no Ira Couches anywhere I know of. In the 1930s, during the Depression, the Couch family fortune disappeared in Chicago, and so did the Couch family. So all that remains is the mausoleum, standing as a testament to time in Chicago's history long gone. When Chicago was new and fresh, with all the hopes of the future within its grasp, the mausoleum is a reminder that time marches on, and no man, no matter his wealth or prominence, can prevent the inevitable. The grounds of the Lincoln Park Zoo clearly has a history, with the bodies that have long since been relocated, and those 12,000 souls that remain underneath the park today. So it's only natural to question and wonder, what of those 12,000 souls, and potentially even Mr. Ira Couch himself? Do they remain? Is the Lincoln Park Zoo haunted? If you ask IllinoisHauntedHouses.com, they will share the stories reported over the years. Some of the eerie occurrences at the zoo include that of ghosts wearing Victorian-era clothing wandering throughout the park. They appear out of nowhere and then disappear quickly. One of these ghostly women is usually spotted near the Lion House, walking around, oblivious to visitors passing by. This same ghost has also been seen in the ladies' restroom near this exhibit. Her reflection has been seen in the mirror, only to disappear when the person turns around. Flickering lights and doors slamming on their own have also been reported at the zoo. The Lincoln Park Zoo has drawn the attention and interest of many people over the years, but as it is an open and active zoo, traditional paranormal investigations are hard to come by. The zoo granted access to the team at Chicago Paranormal Investigators back in 2019. The group explored several areas of the zoo, including the famed Lion House, which has been reported several times as being the site of some of the haunted activity around the zoo. In an investigation that spawned several videos across their YouTube channel, they captured several bits of evidence. Here are a few of the highlights.
We are very limited on time in here. We would appreciate anything you can do to let one of us know you're here. We would love to talk to you. Once again, I'd like to know, were you part of the cemetery that was here years ago?
Yes.
It was kind of like in between you guys. Ooh, it's back, Dave. Dave.
When considering the facts of this location, Is it really any wonder that some residual energy remains? Consider the fact that 12,000 bodies remain. Is it really that much of a stretch to assume that the original residents of the grounds would have something to say about the very public nature of what was supposed to be their final resting place? A cemetery is meant to be a place of quiet contemplation and reflection, where our family can visit us for many generations after we've passed. A zoo is anything but quiet, with the sounds of all the animal calls, the shouts and excitements from the young children experiencing a literal new world. Not much of a final resting place, if you ask me. The 12,000 souls that remain behind may never be identified, but one thing is clear. These souls have a lot to say about their animalistic roommates. So the next time you find yourself in Chicago with some time to kill, consider heading to the Lincoln Park Zoo to take in the sights and the animals. And while you're there, take a listen and see if amongst the roars of the lions and the splashing from the aquatics area, you hear the faint sounds of these long-forgotten souls reaching out and seeking a little bit of your time. Thank you, as always, for your support and love. Be watching for a 200 subscriber special coming soon with a super special guest star who's been away for far too long. Also, stay tuned after tonight's word from our amazing sponsor for a special peek at the trailer for my new channel with my brother and the kid. Watch the Film has been a blast to put together, and I hope to see you all over there sometime soon. Please know that I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'm grateful to have your support. But for now, let's pack it up and hit the road for the next leg of our haunted journey. Good night. I love you all. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Do you like apples?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, I go
VENATOS.
How do you like them apples?
VENATOS is a premium gaming peripheral brand geared toward developing high-performance products. We're currently working toward creating new, exciting, and unique products not currently found on the market. With quality to match its sleek and beautiful design, I can honestly say that my VENATOS mouse is the best that I've ever owned, and I'm looking forward to expanding my collection of VENATOS products. VENATOS ships internationally with extremely low international shipping costs, and shipping is free to the US and Canada. Your products will arrive quickly and carefully packaged, with most orders arriving within 7 to 10 business days. If you're looking to upgrade your setup in an affordable way without substituting looks, VENATOS is an optimal choice, and when you use code PRESSSTARTMOM at checkout, VENATOS is offering a 10% discount on your order. You'll be doing mom a solid, and you'll be doing yourself a solid. Everyone wins. Thank you so much to VENATOS for sponsoring this video. This is Ryan. Ryan was born in 1977. Yes, the year Star Wars was released. But I'm sure he won't ever mention that. Ryan is considered a member of Gen X. This is Sarah. Sarah was born in 1981. Her birth year movie claim to fame? Raiders of the Lost Ark. Sarah is a millennial and the little sister of Ryan. This is Azzy. Azzy was born in 2007, a year which gave birth, no pun intended, well, maybe pun kind of intended, to 2 films about pregnancy, Juno and Knocked Up. Azzy is considered a member of Gen Z, and they are the child of Sarah. What happens when 3 generations come together to share their love of movies? Will the classics of the 70s and 80s hold up? Can value be found in even the most obscure of films? Join us as we watch the film. And on that note, we cue the movie.
Late nights, been on long flights, stayed on strange time. It's a strange time in my life. I took a drive home to clear my mind.